You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Wednesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby. I feel like there's not enough joy in the world anymore. And I have a specific example of why I think people are more depressed than usual. Have you noticed, especially with all the snow that we've had, people are not kicking the snow out of their wheel wells as much as they used to?
True. I think it's been freezing too fast is the problem.
That might be it, but like
I just about broke my fucking toe the other day.
I've been pulling up to red lights. And I've been seeing like giant chunks of snow. Like I almost want to get out of my car and just run over. You know when you see videos of people that'll like run out and sweep the snow off someone's windshield?
Yeah.
I just want to kick people's tires, man. It's just sitting there. It's begging for it.
Is that illegal to do? Is that technically like
I think
damaging someone else's property?
That's the thing, is like taking the snow off. No, but if you do like dent or ding anything, then that's going to be a problem. And also, just imagine like you're in a grocery store parking lot and someone comes over and just sees you kicking the shit out of their wheel wells, trying to get all the snow out of there. They're either going to be mad for one of two reasons: either they think you're damaging their car, or you're taking their wheel snow away from them.
It'd be funny to go door to door to people's houses and knock and be like, "Is it cool if I kick the shit out of your wheel well?"
That's right. You know, I'm not looking for money. I'm not going to pay you.
I'll pay you. Yeah, I'll give you $5 to let me kick the snow out from under your tires.
$5 in this economy, maybe a toonie. I'll give you a toonie if I can do all four of your tires.
Dude, who needs therapy when you can go around kicking the shit out of people's snow in their wheel wells?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I want to play you a clip of a song. Well, it's not a song. It's music, though. And I want to see if this stirs anything in your brain, all right? So here, have a listen to this.
Oh, I know this. You wouldn't steal a car.
Yeah.
Why would you steal a movie?
Yeah,
that's it?
Right. The whole piracy is a crime. It's like you wouldn't steal a book, you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal this, that, the next thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, stealing movies on the internet is a crime. Well, I found out something yesterday that I think is really funny. This song was used without permission.
Oh, really?
It's pirated.
No way.
Yeah. So apparently
They downloaded it off LimeWire?
basically, it was created by a Dutch composer named Melchior Rietveld. I am almost certainly saying that wrong.
Okay.
And it was made for one-time use at a film festival. The ad agency that would go on to make the Piracy is a Crime commercial allegedly, then took the music and used it without permission. Rietveld sued the ad agency and in 2012 received compensation as they settled out of court.
Isn't that a weird little bit of irony, eh?
Just imagine the audacity of standing there and being like, listen up, youth of today. You can't steal movies. That's a crime. We stole this song, but that's completely different. That's neither here nor there.
Lars Ulrich was freaking out the entire time.
This is the greatest example of irony since Alanis Morissette. Making a song that's not ironic at all. This is up there with the founder of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, asking for a glass of whiskey on his deathbed.
Oh,
which
really?
is a real thing that happened.
I've never heard of that either.
This is on par for irony with the fact that the most shoplifted book in America is the Bible, from people stealing it from hotel rooms.
I never thought about that either.
This is up there with McDonald's used to have a website for employees giving them like health advice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things on their list of health items was not eating McDonald's. That's a legitimate thing. They used to have a website that told employees it was unhealthy to eat the burgers and the fries. That website has since been shut down.
You would need a burger, would you?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Went out for a little matinee yesterday to check out the new Captain America movie, Captain America Brave New World.
How was it?
You know what? Overall, it was good. Harrison Ford is getting old. There's a scene where Harrison Ford has his shirt off, and it is jarring. I will say that.
What is he, like almost 80?
Yeah, well, that's just it. Why are we making him take his shirt off in the movies?
Good for him, though.
He's getting out there. I mean, he's still Harrison Ford. He's still badass.
I just can't do these Marvel movies anymore. They're like, you got to watch like 27 movies just to know what's going on.
I will say this. I was thinking about you yesterday while I was watching it, because I think by my count, you can go in having not seen anything. They do a decent job of explaining what you need to know for the movie to make sense. But if you want to have a good idea of all the things that are happening, you have to have watched no less than 7 movies and a TV show.
That's the thing about these superhero things, is there's so many like offshoot brands of shows and stuff, and you just get lost in the sauce. I hate the fact that I have to watch like a 15-minute YouTube video before I go see one of these movies.
You need like a full-on explainer now. Even like, I'm trying to say this without spoiling anything, because I know people are going to go and watch it. I'm pretty good. The villain of this movie is a character that wasn't even a main character in a movie that came out before Marvel movies got popular.
That doesn't even make sense.
And he shows up on screen, and in the theater, there was like a handful of people, myself included, that were like, oh, it's that guy. And then everybody else was like, what guy? What are we doing here?
I feel like superhero movies just get me frustrated. There's so many pet peeves. I just like... I think it's the older I get, it's watching them destroy the city makes me even more mad. Like, they've never talked about how much insurance costs to live in any of these towns.
Right?
Like, imagine living in the same city as Superman. Like,
dude, there was a TV show. It was short-lived. I don't even remember the name of it. But it basically was set. It was like a sitcom set at an insurance agency that
I love that, actually.
In a city where superheroes are real. And it's just a constant struggle of like, how do we insure all this stuff?
I want to see that, and I also just want to see like the superheroes do some community service for once.
At some point, they should have to help with the rebuilding efforts. Yeah, like I think the only time in Marvel movies that they show rebuilding is like Iron Man, Tony Stark's company takes the government contracts to rebuild things, which is him making money off the city he just destroyed. And it's like, this isn't hero behavior. That's the villain.
Yeah.
If this man's name was Elon Musk, we would be marching in the streets.
I want to see, like, the Bel Air Direct Marvel crossover. That's what I want, you know?
Flow from Progressive.
Yeah, the Allstate guy, any of them, you know?
That's the real Justice League.
The real superheroes, yeah.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Hey, man, what's your biggest movie pet peeve?
Would have to be when people get together near the start of the movie and things are being explained out loud, as if these people just met each other that particular minute, and it's so blatantly just to keep the audience in the loop. And it's just, no, you could have done that better, guys. Come on.
My girlfriend's been watching Yellowstone, and they talk so dramatically in that show all the time. And I'm like, nobody actually talks like this in real life, you know?
No.
It's like when you see a couple argue in a movie, and the guy just watches her drive off in the cab, and he's like, damn. No couple actually does that. They yell and scream. You know what I mean? There's all these stuffs in movie. Like when you see someone smoke a cigarette in a movie and they take 2 drags and they throw it on the ground.
And you're just like, do you not know how expensive those are?
Yeah. The beer one in movies kills me when someone goes into the bar and they're like, let me get a drink.
Yeah. And then the bartender or the waitress or whatever will bring the drinks to the table. They'll each take 2 sips and then one of them will get a phone call or something. They'll just be like, let's roll.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how pissed off my mom would be if she had made me one of those big breakfasts they do in shows with like the waffles and eggs? And you said, gotta go.
Yeah. Grabs 1 pancake and a slice of bacon on the way out the door. There's food for 19 people on the table.
Yeah.
You get your ass back here and you eat your breakfast.
Nobody ever gets mad in that scenario. I would lose my mind if nobody touched the food that I slaved over.
Honestly. Also, anytime someone gets like rock star parking. Every main character.
The parking in movies is ridiculous.
Any main character going to anywhere. Like, oh, hey, we just got to run to the bank. Oh, okay. We'll just pull up to the perfect spot right in front of the door so that we can walk right in. No chance.
We don't even live in that big of a city. It takes me 5 minutes to find parking downtown most of the time.
You know what else drives me crazy about just movies? It's not what it looks like scene. Like where like a guy and a girl are talking or whatever, and then the girlfriend busts in or the boyfriend busts in. And it's like, oh my God, you're cheating on me. And it's just like, what? Just stop and have a conversation.
I mean, in general, I think it's like the after sex scenes that usually get me. Like, no one's cleaning up anything.
Right.
Nobody's worried about anything that just went down. Nobody's apologizing.
They'll literally show them like separating in the bed. She's magically got the blanket on perfect to her. It's that L-shaped blanket that only has to cover the lower half of him.
Yeah.
No one's sweaty or breathing hard or like, no, this happens a lot. Just give me a minute.
No one's yelling about grabbing a towel.
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
A lot of people were apparently upset with Ozzy Osbourne after he announced, after tickets went on sale for his final performance ever, that he is not doing a full set with Black Sabbath. Now, it was announced that the band would be getting back together for the first time in a long time, but Ozzy has claimed after tickets went on sale, he's only doing little bits and pieces with the band. They're not doing a full set. And that's got people's feathers ruffled because, I mean, they spent a lot of money to go. But, I mean, what do you expect from a 76-year-old man with Parkinson's?
Every time we see Ozzy Osbourne in public, he's in a chair being wheeled around. He's looking more and more frail.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you bought tickets to see the last show expecting the Ozman, expecting the Prince of Darkness to be up on stage, running around, doing an hour-and-a-half set, like, yeah, you're probably mad because you're probably a little dumb.
I feel like you have a better chance of seeing a bat bite off his head.
Right.
Like,
the odds are sorry, the show is better for him making this decision. Let him come out at the beginning, take a couple songs off, come back out. Imagine, this man is going to get so many huge crowd cheers every time he comes back out on stage because it'll be like, oh, we get to see him again. And then I assume he'll be there for whatever the last song is.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting him. And meanwhile, now you have the rest of Black Sabbath, again, together, giving you a full set. This is the best of both worlds.
I don't think you want the full set from Ozzy. I think it would get sad as it goes on,
That's
honestly.
just it, man. At some point after he's out there 2, 3, 4 songs consecutively, he's going to just be zapped. Like, he's going to have no energy left. And now what? Are you excited you paid all that money to watch this man sort of just like...
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Delby Podcast.
Do you remember the name Bonnie Blue by chance?
No. I want it. Maybe this is rude if you're about to say person, but that sounds like a cow's name.
Okay. Bonnie Blue was the adult actress we had talked about at the end of last year who was attempting to break the world record for most people slept with in around 12 hours.
Oh, right. Yeah, it was basically like a take a number deli situation.
Yeah, it literally was.
Yeah.
And she did break the world record. She slept with 1,057 men in 12 hours.
Jesus.
Round of applause for Bonnie Blue on that one.
Yeah, congratulations.
Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, she took to the internet to let everybody know that she is pregnant.
Well, is it wrong to say, well, yeah, 1,057 guys, I'm guessing without protection.
So right now, there are over 1,000 potential fathers for this child right now.
That's crazy.
Now, there hasn't been any word on how they're going to figure this out, but I mean, I know Maury retired last year.
If there's any time to bring this man
Maury needs to come out of retirement for this, right? That's the only way that we can figure out who is the biological father.
Dust off that DNA testing machine. You got work to do.
That could be like a week's worth of episodes.
A week, brother. They would have like 3 to 4 people on in an episode for paternity testing. You got 1,000. They could do a show a day for a year.
Breaking it down like March Madness bracket style. We could all like make picks and everything. Imagine being the final 2. Oh, my God.
Crazy. You have to wait, though, right? You got to wait 9 months for Vegas, for betting purposes.
Sure.
I need to see the baby and be able to compare to photos of the 1,057 guys before I decide who I put my money on.
I feel for that kid, man, but I feel even worse for the DNA testers on this one.
That's so much work to have.
So much work.
Slog through.
So much work, dude.
So many tiny little plastic cups to have to keep labeled and organized and not contaminated.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, imagine being the cameraman on that show trying to follow everyone around.
Dude, you're just sprinting in every direction. It's looking like an Olympic marathon. You're just trying to keep up with them all.
It's the real walk of shame.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Listening to you guys talk about this porn star there, I was thinking if she doesn't go through with having a baby and it's a girl, they could name her Millie because that's French for 1,000.
We had a few people suggest baby names for this kid. And honestly, I think the jokes just write themselves. I mean, I was thinking you could do like Sandra, short form for 1,000.
1,000. Or if it's a boy, you could do Maximilian, but only because Max 1,000 is not a real name.
Yeah. Guinea, short form for Guinness World Record.
Any kind of like a fast name. This is one sperm that apparently had to outswim billions of other
Well,
ones.
I mean, if you want to talk about swimmers, name the kid Phelps.
Why is your name Phelps? Super fast swimmer.
Yeah.
You've never even been in a pool. That's not what I'm talking
His
about.
name marked after Mark Spitz.
Yeah.
Honestly, any sort of racing name, you could do Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Name him Dale.
Just name him Dash.
Yeah.
Just super fast.
Lightning McQueen.
Bolt.
yeah, straight up.
Or, just sort of acknowledge the situation. Name him Axel. He's short for accident.
Missy for mistake.
The options are endless here.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time for Brock and Dalby's Draft.
Yesterday, I absolutely punished my mouth with a certain type of food that I'm not going to say till we get going into this draft. It has inspired today's draft, which is foods that will destroy your mouth, but you'll eat them anyways.
That's right. And so I have first overall pick after winning rock, paper, scissors. I'm going to pick first, then Brock will pick. We'll go back and forth till we each have 3, and then it's up to you guys to vote.
What do you got, number one?
Number one overall, I've seen so many people burn their mouth. I've done it so many times. It's an all-encompassing thing. I'm taking pizza at number one.
Pizza at number one.
Pizza out of the oven will scorch your mouth in ways that you cannot comprehend, but you'll never stop.
It's not delivery. It's Delicio burning your mouth.
It's
is what
destruction.
It is.
Is what it is.
Coming in at number one, I'm gonna say what did it to me. It was Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
I thought I would go get a little nostalgic at the grocery store yesterday. I haven't had Captain Crunch in forever. I forgot that's like eating steel wool. Like,
dude, I'm not a soggy cereal kind
you
of
have
guy.
to let it get soggy.
You have to give Captain Crunch a minute to marinate in the milk, otherwise you are just going to hurt yourself.
He's a captain because he's going at war in your mouth, man.
Number 2, round 2, my first pick, I'm going to take salt and vinegar chips.
Oh.
Anything over like a small Halloween size bag and you are feeling it for the rest of the day.
See, is it wrong if I also pick chips, but I pick specifically kettle chips?
Kettle chips, I think, is a different, because I'm just going salt and vinegar chips.
I'm going to go number 2, and I'm going to go very specific. I'm going to go Miss Vicky's on this one.
Miss Vicky's you can have all the Miss Vicky's except for salt and vinegar.
It doesn't matter what flavor of Miss Vicky's it is. Like, Miss Vicky's job is to go in there and slice and dice.
It really is like getting shanked in the mouth.
Yeah, honestly.
My third and final pick for this draft, and I'm really happy that this is still on the board. I'm kind of shocked. I'm taking Warheads.
Warheads?
The sour candies?
Oh, yeah.
You put a warhead in your mouth, the things that it does, that's literally chemical warfare. Banned by the UN, my guy. You cannot do this to yourself, but we do.
Coming in at number 3 here, I am going to go with Pizza Pops.
Oh, I don't know about Pizza Pops if I've got pizza.
If you've got pizza, the pop itself, it's all in the pillow itself, so when you bite into it, do you want me to change?
No, hey, listen,
I'll go bagel bites in at number 3.
It's still pizza.
It's not pizza, it's a bagel. It burns the roof of your mouth.
You can have Pizza Pops. I'm not taking Pizza Pops away from you. I agree with you because it's the exact same reason as with pizza. For some reason, we decide to heat these things up to superhuman, and then we have no patience.
I'll take anything that's in that sort of umbrella of like Jamaican patty, pizza pop, whatever you want to call it.
Anything where steam can build up on the inside and you can unleash it into your mouth.
Where you have to bite it and go.
You start doing the reverse reverse blow, breathing in.
Yeah.
What's your 3?
All right, number 1, I got Captain Crunch.
Yes.
Number 2, I'm going Miss Vicky's. And number 3, I'm going Pizza Pops or anything that is in that weird pillow shape.
I'm taking pizza number 1 overall, salt and vinegar chips after that, and finishing with the sour candies Warheads.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I'm man enough to admit once again when I've lost. Victory! There you go. There's your W, big guy.
This one was super close. Like, I think it was a 1-vote difference.
Well, a lot of people coming after me saying that I just stole your picks. I didn't steal your picks. I had different things, okay?
The Captain Crunch is probably the best pick. I had it. I thought I could steal it at second round. I should have known that that's what caused this whole draft to start with. A lot of people are saying, and I've never eaten these things because I just feel like it's too much work. People are saying sunflower seeds.
Well, sunflower seeds, I mean, if you ever played like slow pitch or been to a baseball game, if you eat a bag of sunflower seeds, your mouth is absolutely just damaged by the end of it.
Is it from like the coating or is it from
It's just all the salt, right?
Oh.
It's kind of like the just eating salt and vinegar chips thing, right?
Yeah.
The one that's got me mind blowing is a lot of people saying pineapple, which...
I've used pineapple as like tenderizer in marinades before. Like if you have like a really tough piece of meat, you put some pineapple in the marinade and it'll loosen it up. So the question is, how long are these people keeping pineapple in their mouths to be hurting themselves with it?
Yeah.
Like I love a pineapple pizza. I've never once felt the ill effects afterwards from the pineapple.
I Googled it. It says pineapple can cause a tingling or burning sensation in your mouth due to bromelain.
Oh, it's like a citric acid.
Yeah, it's like an enzyme that breaks down proteins or whatever. It says it's normal, says it's not an allergic reaction.
Yeah. I feel like you got to eat a lot of pineapple.
You got to be having a hot date planned to be eating that much pineapple. If you know, you know.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Yes, it's time for Best Answer Wins. We have 3 contestants on the line. They have 10 seconds to give us their best answer for today's question. Why haven't the Leafs won a Stanley Cup since 1967?
Yeah, sorry for putting that on the wheel. I didn't know it would come up.
Thanks, man.
I'm happy you did, though. I think there's a lot of fun to be had here. And again, we're playing for $100 in Lotto 649 tickets. Gold ball jackpot tonight, $16 million. Guaranteed $1 million prize if nobody wins that.
Caller number 1, what's your name?
John.
John. All right, man. You understand how the game works?
I do.
All right. Okay. We will count you in from 3 to 1 here. You give us the best answer possible on why the Leafs have not won the Cup since 1967. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Take it away, John.
Because every major league sport is rigged.
Great answer. So much time to kill, but honestly, a fantastic answer.
I mean, we prefer that given 10 seconds, you would use up more of it, but
I think he said enough.
Short and sweet. And as somebody who is a fan of the only true, real professional sport, that, of course, being pro wrestling, I'm glad someone's finally saying.
Yeah. All right. Good answer. You stay on hold, all right?
All right.
All right, let's go on to caller number 2 here. Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Sandra.
All right, you understand how the game works?
I do.
All right, you got 10 seconds on the clock to explain to us why the Leafs have not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. Are you ready?
I'm ready, yes.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Sandra.
Because they're eating too many cupcakes and skating around like ballerinas.
Okay.
A lot of cupcakes at the old ACC, apparently.
All right, Sandra, stay on hold there. What? All right. We move on here. It's better than yesterday.
No, 100%. Yeah. It's great.
Caller number 3, what's your name?
Daryl.
Daryl, all right. You understand how the game works, right?
I do.
All right, 10 seconds on the clock. Daryl, you need to explain to us why the Leafs have not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Daryl.
It is because it's been so long that the spirit of hockey for Toronto fans relies on them winning. Therefore, if they won the Cup, the spirit of hockey for Toronto fans would die. Go! Go!
Oh,
okay. He's a Habs fan.
Oh, he's a Habs fan. That makes sense why none of that made sense, right? Yeah.
Listen, you know me. Love a good Leafs chirp. I didn't get that.
No.
I didn't follow that.
No. Was it an anagram or something? I don't understand.
It's one of those things that sounded really deep. but didn't mean anything.
I think we can all agree, and even looking at the text line, it's caller number one. It's John, right? Because it's rigged?
Because all sports are rigged except for professional wrestling. Yes, we agree on that.
All right. John, are you still there, my man?
Yes, I am.
You get yourself a ding and a round of applause.
Wicked.
You're the best around, and that was the best answer I've heard in a long time on why the Leafs haven't won.
Really is the only thing that explains, what has it been, 58 years? I mean, just statistically seems impossible.
And they keep the spirit going by just, making the playoffs, and then everybody gets hyped up, and then, maybe next year.
See, that's the thing people don't realize is being a Leafs fan does give you hope, even if it never comes.
Dangerous, cruel hope.
It's technically like being religious. You don't know if heaven's real or not, but you're believing in it.
You got to have faith.
All right. If you happen to win the jackpot tonight, you got some nickels and dimes for the fellas or what?
100%.
Love to hear it, man.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast. Would you rather? Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday?
All right, we got a lot of would you rather questions coming in here. If you got one, you can still send it in 762-555. Someone said, would you rather discover a new planet or find sunken treasure in the ocean?
The ocean's terrifying. I can discover a new planet from here with the proper equipment. And then you could name it after yourself, which would be kind of cool.
I feel like that's a lot more effort versus at least if I find the treasure, then I get to take it. Versus if you find a planet, there's a lot of paperwork you got to deal with,
Oh, you got a doubloon guy, huh? You gonna turn those doubloons into real money?
Also, I just feel like in general, if it was like if I was out in space and I found a planet, I'm not the first guy that anyone should come into contact with.
You don't trust yourself
to
be an envoy of our planet?
No, I'm like the third, fourth guy at best.
Okay, but to be clear, you're just as likely to find some sort of species we've never met before if you go down into the ocean.
Hey, we're just talking treasure here.
You're saying it's more work to name a planet. How much work you got to find treasure? You got to have subs and cameras, and you got to be down there digging through wreckages and stuff like that. You don't have that dog in you.
I don't got that dog in me to meet new people.
This one here says, would you rather rip off your big toenail or go on a long car ride with your in-laws?
I mean, the in-laws. If it's Courtney's mom,
yeah.
It's Courtney's dad, no.
Really?
I'll rip off my big toe.
See, I was going to say, I've been lucky to always have really, tolerable, great in-laws to deal with. But even at the worst case scenario, ripping your big toenail off sounds so painful.
The big toenail will grow back. The things that I might say to her father, you can't take back,
That's fair.
Someone said, would you rather wear someone else's underwear or use someone else's toothbrush?
I mean, is the underwear clean?
Let's say no.
I think the only thing that would stop me in that situation would be visible skid marking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You can always flip it inside out, right?
Yeah, that's just it. Is I think the underwear could be gross, and I wouldn't be pumped for that scenario. But using somebody else's toothbrush is guaranteed to be awful.
Yeah.
There's no situation in which that's okay. There's no scenario I can come up with where I'm like, oh, but it's fine because of X.
Someone said, would you rather run into an alien or Bigfoot?
God, I think Bigfoot, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just have so many questions. And I feel like you could make a lot of money if you ran into Bigfoot. I feel like aliens, it's kind of, people are getting over aliens.
I feel like Bigfoot doesn't like posing for photos, so that might be tough.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Also, you know what I just remembered? There is that book that you read on the air that one time.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot erotica.
Yeah.
Maybe meeting Bigfoot doesn't go the way you want it to.
No,
go.
absolutely not. I feel like the aliens have the secrets to our Earth versus Bigfoot and some guy in the forest.
Although the aliens also been probing. Been probing for a long time.
That's better than the erotica book. We'll wrap up with this one. Someone said, would you rather have a 1-minute conversation with your past self or your future self?
1 minute. You know what? I don't think 1 minute with my past self would be long enough to reassure them about anything. But 1 minute with my future self, all I got to do is ask them about Super Bowls, World Series, NBA championships, elections, I could bet. I could make some money off that.
I agree with that because I don't trust my younger self to remember anything that I'm going to say.
Exactly.
Versus at least if it's like future me coming down, like all you got to do is ask is like, is Bitcoin going to jump back up again?
Right, yeah. If I can have Bet99 open while I have my 1-minute conversation with my future self, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
See what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is yokel. Yep, yokel. Y-O-K-E-L. And it's a gullible or naive person from a rural area or a small town or a bumpkin. What the hell do they mean by that? Not all. Anyways, that's about it. Have a great one. Cheers are up.
Ed's taking the word seriously today.
Yeah. Yokel, an uneducated or unsophisticated person from the countryside.
This is a word that I learned from The Simpsons. You remember Cletus the slack-jawed yokel? Yeah, some folks will eat a squirrel, then again, some folk'll.
I think you could leave out the countryside part. I mean, if you've got like a new apprentice or something like that at work, you could refer to them as the yokel. The new guy at work is the yokel kind of type thing. Like
basically anybody who's bumbling around is yokel material.
I honestly think, you know how like teachers give those marks at the back of the report card, like the G, the E, the S grades?
Oh, yeah. Not like grade specific or not class specific, but just your general performance.
Yeah. I think there should be a Y for yokel.
I think you could get in a lot of trouble as a teacher putting yokel on a kid's report card when it comes time for parent-teacher
Instead
interviews.
of giving kids Fs for failing, give them Ys.
Give them Ys for yokel.
Yeah. Yokel. Use it wherever you can, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.